People love trying to make predictions of the future of the NBA. There are thousands of different ways that the NBA could go moving forward. Is there a rising dynasty, or are we in a time of parity? Who will dominate all the major awards moving forward? These are just a few of the questions that we can ask when we're trying to look ahead of the future. Let's use the internet's favorite tool, ChatGPT, and ask what it thinks will happen over the next decade of the NBA. I asked ChatGPT all kinds of different questions. So let's go through the results. Let's start with the next 10 NBA champions. Now, ChatGPT struggled with the idea of conferences, so this actually took a couple of tries to get matchups that were even possible. Starting off this season, ChatGPT has the Celtics beating the Nuggets in 6, with Tatum winning Finals MVP. Chat also has Jason Tatum winning MVP for this regular season, which more than likely won't happen. As for next season, the 2026 Finals will see the Thunder beating the Bucks in 7, with SGA winning both Finals MVP and regular season MVP. This theme ends quickly. In this season, Chat has the Thunder trading for Mikal Bridges as Sam Presti assumingly opens up the treasure chest of draft picks to beef up this team for a championship run. In 2027, Giannis wins MVP and DPOY, but the Bucks don't even make the finals, as Jokic wins Finals MVP and the Nuggets' 5-game finals win over the Pacers. Moving on, the Spurs trade for Darius Garland in 2028 en route to a 4-3 win over the Cavs, where Wemby wins Finals MVP. This is an insane trade considering multiple things. The first being that Darius Garland plays for the Cavs and will more than likely still be playing for the Cavs in 2028. The second being that ChatGPT doesn't know that this last trade deadline happened. I had to keep telling it over and over and over again that Luka now is a member of the Lakers. Even AIs can't believe that happened, but they probably don't know that De'Aaron Fox is on the Spurs. I probably should have specified that considering what happens later down the road. But yeah, just know all the recent trades, ChatGPT struggled with understanding that those existed. In 2029, another trade decides who wins the championship, as it has the Magic winning the finals behind Finals MVP Paolo Banchero and newly added running mate Jaden Ivey. Entering the 2030s, the Knicks finally break their curse, winning a championship behind Finals MVP Devin Booker, making a 1-2 punch with Jalen Brunson. And mind you, this is not even mentioning one of the bigger names that's on this team that we'll get into later. The 2030s continue with parity, yet dominance, as two teams who have already won get their second ring. Those being the Spurs, who added another guard in Tyrese Maxey, winning in 7 over the 76ers, his former team, in 2031, where Philly replaced Maxey with Cade Cunningham, likely some sort of 3-team trade, and OKC wins in 2032 in a 5-game series over the Pacers, making Tyrese Haliburton 0-2 in finals appearances. He may be one of the better ringless players from this era according to ChatGPT. 2033 sees the Cavs on top behind Evan Mobley, and we will get into how ChatGPT believes that Mobley is the guy for the Cavs moving forward. Finally, a decade from now, the Rockets will take down the Bulls in 7 games, who are led by Victor Oladipo Jr., who literally does not exist, and at the time of the series, which would be 2034, Victor Oladipo Jr. is not old enough. Victor Oladipo does not have a child that's old enough to be this person. So, a little bit of a spoiler, ChatGPT has the Bulls winning the #1 pick this offseason, so let's assume that they're led by Cooper Flag instead, since that is at least somewhat realistic of a person that can actually exist. Now, let's get into some MVPs. We've mentioned a couple already, such as Tatum in this NBA offseason, SGA in 25-26, and Giannis in 2027. Wemby gets his first MVP in 28, followed by Paolo winning in 29 for the Magic alongside a ring. Devin Booker, who'd be 33 in 2030, wins it for New York to open up the new decade. Cade wins MVP in 31 for Philly, and this leads into 2 big men winning the MVP in 32 and 33, those being Chet Holmgren and Evan Mobley on their current respective teams. Finally, another 33-year-old in Jalen Green wins MVP in 2034. Defensive Player of the Year is likely an award that's going to be dominated by just a few names, and ChatGPT aligns with that. Chat has Evan Mobley winning this year, followed by Jaren Jackson Jr. in 26 and Giannis in 27. Wemby then gets 2 in 2028 and 2029, followed by Chet in 2030 and Anthony Edwards in 2031. Becoming the first guard to win the award in a long time. Mobley grabs another in 2032, Wemby grabs one in 2033, and the biggest shock to me personally is that it believes Alex Sarr will develop into becoming a Defensive Player of the Year award winner in 2034, playing with the Rockets, as Houston is an absolute force to end out this next decade. I've also mentioned some player movements throughout this, but when I prompted ChatGPT specifically to give me some of the bigger names that have moved, it gave me a couple more. Obviously, we've already talked about Bridges, Garland, Cade, Booker, and more, but there are some other massive ones. To start, ChatGPT has Donovan Mitchell being traded from the Cavs to the Heat in 2027, which shows that it believes that Cleveland's guy, which shows that ChatGPT believes that Evan Mobley is the guy that Cleveland should be building around moving forward, as well as its overall theme of big man dominating the next era of basketball. Next, Giannis is going to New York in 2028 in the free agency, getting there just before Booker, which makes Devin Booker the one winning the MVP and the Finals MVP in 2030 absolutely insane, considering Jalen Brunson, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Karl Anthony Towns, and Devin Booker are all on the same team. In the next offseason, ChatGPT has SGA going home to Toronto in 2029, opening up Chet Holmgren to be OKC's guy in the 2030s, as we've seen. To wrap things up, I also asked ChatGPT who landed the #1 pick in every draft in the next 10 years. Now, as I was doing this, it struggled with the idea of who's a rookie currently, who's in college currently, and who hasn't been drafted. It had Bronny James as the #1 pick in 2034. So, as I show these screenshots, ignore the name, just look at the team. Also, as we know, the #1 pick is not necessarily the worst team, but I wanted this for an idea to show us who ChatGPT thinks is likely going to be bad, or at least in the bottom half of the league. There is a couple trades, but unless specified, the #1 pick is a team that it was their own draft pick. This year, ChatGPT thinks the Bulls will win the lottery, landing Cooper Flag. Next year, Chat thinks that the Hornets will draft #1, getting LaMelo Ball a running mate, and the Mavs will bottom out in the next year and land the top pick in 2027. 2028 sees the Pistons landing the #1 pick, as Cade is now gone, and Ivy soon. 2029 will see the post-KD Suns drafting first, and is probably the reason why Devin Booker left if they are so bad. 2030 sees the Wolves drafting #1, getting Ant a new partner in Minnesota, and 2031 sees the Wizards' never-ending tank continuing as they get another top pick. 2032 now sees the Pacers, who are out of their championship window, drafting #1. And in 2033, just a year before their dominant run in 2034, the Rockets will land the first pick to get Jalen Green even more help. Finally, the Atlanta Hawks get the first pick in 2034, according to ChatGPT's predictions. So, how well do you think these predictions will age? I think there's some things that look good in here, but other things that, quite frankly, are pretty crazy. What do you guys think of ChatGPT's predictions? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching.